Welcome everybody to Wyatt Zang's College Football Show. We are here live for episode number 33. We're in episode number 34. That is my bad. We are in episode number 34, and we got a lot to talk about. We have so much. Even though we're now going to 2 shows per week, I still have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to dive into in this show. And like I said, even though we're going to 2 shows a week, we still got tons. We got all-time head coach rankings. I'm going to give my top 10 all-time head coaches. No one has done this. I haven't seen anyone do this. I did my top 10 head coaches, I believe, last Monday. This week, we're going all-time. Not just current, all-time. There's maybe one current head coach in this list, and you can take your guesses who it is. And we got way too early hot seat for head coaches. What head coaches are on the way too early hot seat for 2026? I've got a list of about 5 guys. I'm going to talk about Five Guys, the restaurant. Free advertising right there. I got a list about 5 guys I'm going to be going over who could be on the hot seat in college football. I got how to fix media rights. I'm reading ahead on this sheet. We have how to fix the broken college football media rights, because media rights is a big thing in college football, and it's kind of broken. I mean, not broken, but it's kind of in a blender right now, and we need to pull it out, and we need to put the pieces back together and fix it. So we're going to be going over that, plus an Arizona State and Alabama program preview. We are not doing bowl predictions this week. We're going to put that on hold for a little bit just to kind of backfill. So if you have a bowl prediction, put it in the comments, and we will dive into that. But again, that's going to be on hold temporarily. And then we're also going to be diving straight into, like I said, Alabama and Arizona State program previews this week. We normally do 1. We're doing 2 this week. I think it'll be good to get into some program previews, especially here in March, because you know what? The season is coming up faster than you would think. So, like I said, the season's coming, and we need to be prepared for when it comes. All right. With that being said, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys like, comment. You can follow me on Twitter at Wyatt Zang CFB on Twitter. And then, of course, the podcast feeds. You can follow me there. So, yeah, we are ready to dive right into the show. Also, I did want to mention, again, we are going to 2 shows a week. We did 1 show a week for a long time. Till the season ended, we went to 1 show per week. We have 2 shows a week, plus on Wednesdays, I'm giving you a podcast only. It's a mailbag, full mailbag. So if you want me to feature your question and answer it, I will do it on there or in the show. But I'll do it a podcast only mailbag on Wednesday. I'll get it to you sometime Wednesday. I'd say probably midday, maybe in the morning. I'd like to get it out in the morning. And then, Friday is going to be another live show. So live show Monday, podcast only on Wednesday, and live show on Friday. That is the schedule for the foreseeable future. All right, I am ready to dive right into the show. Quick live chat check. We got a decent amount of people watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Like I said, that is very important. All right, let's dive right in. What are your all-time head coaches in 2026? Because I have my list of all-time head coaches. I have 10 guys here that I'm going to be ranking in terms of best to least. Obviously, that's what a top 10 list is. But these are all time. This is within the last 30 years. So not quite all time, but within the last 30 years. So I'm talking 2026, basically 1990 through 2026 is basically the last 30-ish years. That is going to be this list. I'm very excited to dive into this. Again, we'll get into some more top 10 lists as the season go on, or as the offseason progresses. But here, we're top 10 all-time head coaches. Let's dive right into it. Number 10 is good old Mack Brown at number 10. A lot of people probably either just shut the video off because they were mad, or some people understand this. There's 2 ways you can look at this. Number 1, you can look at it through the eyes of, if you're an older college football fan, and I'm talking if you've been watching college football since 2000, you would know that Mack Brown has a national championship. He was one of few coaches to win a national championship. In 2005, he won one with Texas. He also basically built Texas into a powerhouse. Is that safe to assume that Mack Brown is the reason that Texas is a powerhouse right now. He really built them up. I mean, he nearly won another title in 2009 with Texas. Very close to winning another title. And I mean, he built a brand at Texas. That's another thing, is people, when they think of Mac Brown, they think of North Carolina. That's the most recent Mac Brown. But Mac Brown was bigger at Texas. He almost won 2 titles. He has 1. But yeah, I think he warrants a number 10 spot on this list. All right, going into number 9 is LSU's Les Miles. Les Miles is number 9 for me. He has a national championship in 2007, 2 SEC titles at LSU. He played for another title in 2011. I mean, I got to say, he was an elite recruiter. When it comes to recruiting, Les Miles was a pillar in the recruiting community. He was amazing at it. I mean, he peaked at LSU. LSU was peak when he was there. Of course, Ed Orgeron had him going in 2019. But I have to say, peak LSU was with Les Miles. Les Miles was the coach at LSU. When you go back in history of LSU or just anything, Les Miles was the guy. All right, number 8. We're flying through these. Number 8 is Bob Stoops. He is from Oklahoma. Now, a lot of people don't quite know who Bob Stoops is. Bob Stoops was an amazing head coach. I really think Bob Stoops was one of the better head coaches in Oklahoma history. Now, again, I did not personally see him play or see him coach because, again, I'm only 15 years old, so I haven't obviously seen him play. But a lot of these guys I haven't seen play. But just going back and looking at their Wikipedia page or looking at their list of accomplishments, I have to say Bob Stoops is one that really jumps out at me. I mean, a national champion in 2000, in the year of 2000. He had 4 BCS playoff appearances. He sustained an elite run at Oklahoma. I mean, he was a consistent top 5 level head coach for at least 2 decades. I mean, the guy was incredible at just coaching a team. So that's why I have him there, because I mean, the national title just puts an icing on the cake for him there. I mean, almost every single one of these guys, I think except for one, has a national championship. Actually, no, I think they all have a national championship. Every person on this list has a national championship. That was one of the criteria, is you have to have success. All right, number 7 is Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel's number 7 for me. I think he's an amazing head coach. When it comes to just looking at top head coaches, when you really dive into former Ohio State head coaches, Jim Tressel is one that really jumps out at me. I think he should jump out at you, but he really jumps out at me. So what are some things he's done? Well, he has a national championship in 2002 with Ohio State. He has 4 title appearances. So he won 1 and lost 3. But, I mean, you make it to 4 national titles, and you're probably in the top 10 head coaches. He dominated Michigan. That's one thing that is a blemish on Ryan Day's record. The reason Ryan Day is not here is because, again, it's not just because of Michigan struggles, but Jim Tressel dominated Michigan. He built Ohio State into a modern machine. I mean, he was kind of underrated, if you ask me. When people think of their top 10, Jim Tressel normally doesn't come to mind. But in my opinion, I think he deserves to be up there. I think he is up there. So give me Jim Tressel at number 7. Number 6 is a coach that's not known for college football within the last, I don't know how many years he was at the Seahawks. It's Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, yes, newer college football fans, he was at USC. He was a college football head coach. Now, I did not get to watch USC when he was leading them because I wasn't born yet, but I have to say, Pete Carroll, looking back at what he did, he had a national championship. He should have had 2. 1 was vacated. So, I mean, when you look at what Pete Carroll's done, he's just been an elite head coach at USC. I mean, he made USC basically the most dominant program in early 2000s. Them and Texas were kind of head-to-head at that point. I mean, relevance plus star power era. I mean, when you really think of a golden era in college football, 2000 to 2005 is like a golden sweet spot era in college football. I have to say, it was absolutely incredible with Pete Carroll at USC. And honestly, if that title wasn't vacated in, I forget what year they vacated one of his titles, but if it wasn't vacated, I think he could push higher on this list above this next above this next coach I have, which is Georgia's Kirby Smart. I think Georgia or Kirby Smart at Georgia, what he's done here. He hasn't been a head coach for the longest time, but what he's done as a head coach has been so dominant. I mean, when you talk about dominance between 2000 or between 2020 and 2025, 2026 era, I mean, Kirby Smart comes to your mind. He was number one in my regular top 10 head coaches the last week that we did. But I have to say, Kirby Smart is number 5. I mean, the guy has 2 national championships. Most people say that he built Georgia into a Alabama 2.0. I would not say that, but most people say that. I mean, he dominated. Now, he's not near to the dominating level of Nick Saban. That's why he's number 5. But I have to say, elite recruiting. I mean, his depth on his teams were incredible. They almost stacked up to Alabama. He beat Alabama in a national championship. Can't forget that. That was towards the end of Nick Saban's career, but he still beat a Nick Saban-led Alabama team. So I have to say, I mean, he's still. I mean, we haven't even seen his peak yet. Like, we don't know what his peak is as a head coach because he's so new. He's only been a head coach for 8 years, I want to say. I think 2018 he left Alabama. But yeah, guy's incredible at Georgia. All right, number 4 is Bobby Bowden. Bobby Bowden was at Florida State. Now, here's my thing with Bobby Bowden. With this list, I have the top 10 head coaches within the past 30 years. If I did the top 10 head coaches within the past 50 years, Bobby Bowden probably would be number 2 or 3. I think 2. I think Bobby Bowden would be number 2 for me. But, I mean, within the last, 30 years, he has a national championship in 1999, 14 straight top 5 finishes from 1987 to 2000, 2 total national titles in 1993 and 1999. I mean, he built FSU into a dynasty. He's one of the greatest program builders ever. I mean, 1996 to 2000, he was 11-1, 11-1, 11-2, 12-0, and 11-2. That is unbelievable. Like, you can't look at me and say that that guy is not a top 4 head coach. I think he should push higher, like I said, if it was the last 40 years. But this is the last 30 years. So that's towards the tail end of his career. Still had a national title, basically 2 titles in the last 30 some years. So I have to say, he is definitely a guy that deserves to be on this list by far. Next is Clemson's Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney is a excellent head coach. When you think of top head coaches in college football, I mean, no one comes to mind except Dabo Swinney. When you think of top head coaches, Dabo Swinney comes to your mind as at least the top 3. I mean, of course you have Nick Saban, you have Urban Meyer, you have Bobby Bowden, you have Dabo Swinney, but he's in there. He is a top coach in college football and still is. Yes, Clemson is down as a program, but he is still a top coach. And there's nothing you can say that would change my mind on that. I mean, he has 2 national titles. He built Clemson from good to elite. He has 6 straight 4-team playoff appearances. I mean, it's a 4-team playoff too, and he had 6 straight of them. It's insane. He had a great run, 2015 to 2020. And the thing is he went up against prime Nick Saban. He went head-to-head with prime Nick Saban, and he won 2 national titles. That no normal, just regular person can say that I went head-to-head with the greatest coach of all time and won 2 national titles against him. No one else can say that. He was unbelievable as a head coach. I honestly would love to push him higher, but this number 2 head coach is just so good. He's really, really good. And my number 2 head coach is has a little bit more achievements than Dabo. But when you look at Dabo's career, I mean, he's 170-plus career head coaching wins, 2-time national title, 8 ACC championships, 6 college football playoff appearances, 10-plus consecutive 10-win seasons from 2011 to 2020. The guy's done it all. He really has. There's not a thing in college football that you can say that Dabo Swinney hasn't done. And again, he's towards the tail end of his career right now, but I still think he's a very, very elite head coach. Going into number 2, it is Urban Meyer. This one is going to probably get a lot of pushback. But just before you rage or before you yell at the screen, just let me explain myself real quick. Let me explain my thinking here. He has 3 national titles. That is insane to have 3 national titles. 2 at Florida, 1 at Ohio State. He had some time at Utah, but he didn't really do anything amazing there. So, like I said, the Utah logo's on there, but he didn't do anything incredible or notable at Utah. But he did do a lot of things at Florida and Ohio State. So when you think of Urban Meyer, I mean, he is an elite head coach. When you think of elite head coaches, Urban Meyer's got to be up there. He won everywhere he went. I mean, he won at Utah before Kyle Whittingham took over. He beat Nick Saban head-to-head in a title game. Dabo Swinney and Kirby Smart are the only 2 other head coaches that have ever done that. And to just say that you did that is unbelievable. I mean, he was an elite offensive innovator. He had a short peak, but he was insanely dominant. That's the thing. He was insanely dominant. When it comes to what he did in his career, he was just insanely dominant. Now it's time for number 1. Number 1 head coach is, no shocker, Nick Saban. Nick literal Saban is the number 1 head coach in my top 10 head coaches list. I'm going to read this list of accomplishments off, and you're just going to probably be sitting here like, wow, that's insane. I'm going to read you this list of accomplishments right here. This is what Nick Saban did as a head coach. 7 national championships, 6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU. He built an absolute dynasty at Alabama. He dominant BCS playoff success. He was 297 wins as a head coach to only 71 losses. He had 11 SEC championships between LSU and Alabama. 4-time SEC Coach of the Year. 29 first-round NFL draft picks at Alabama alone. I don't know how you really look at Nick Saban in his career and say that he is not the greatest coach, not even college football coach, but greatest coach to do the game of football, other than maybe Bill Belichick in the NFL. But you look at Nick Saban and you say he's the greatest college football coach to ever step foot on a college football field. I mean, it's not arguable at all. He's the greatest head coach of all time. There's no questions. And if you have a problem with that, then I don't know what to tell you. He's the greatest head coach of all time. There's zero arguing that. I mean, you can give me your list, but if your list doesn't end with Nick Saban, I can't value your opinion. Yes, your 2 through 10 could be different, and I would have no problem, but number 1's Nick Saban. There's zero arguing that. That's for sure. All right, well, quick check on the channel here. We're doing good with the live show numbers. Appreciate you guys for watching. Like always, I appreciate you guys. All right, gonna take a quick swig of water, and then we'll jump right back into it. All right, make sure you guys are subscribed, number 1, because this show is year round. I mean, there's no off season here. So make sure you like the video, subscribe, follow, comment, share, hit the notification bell. Just do all the basic things. It doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps the show. All right, I appreciate you guys for watching. The show is not nearly over. We are only a fifth of the way through. So, yeah, let's dive right in to the very next segment. And it is a way too early hot seat for 2026. There is some coaches that are sitting on a pretty hot seat right now. Not literally, but figuratively. Because I got a list of 5 guys. Another 5 Guys restaurant plug. I have a list of 5 guys here that are at risk of being fired in 2026. Not saying they're going to be fired, but are at risk. Starting off with number 1, I don't think this one is even arguable. Everyone has him here. Everyone has him here. And it is Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell's the head coach of Florida State. I mean, a lot of people are, if you don't know, this is why he's on the hot seat. I mean, he had an ACC championship and should have made the college football playoff, but didn't. I mean, he went 13-0 in 2023. But the 2024, 2025 have been down. 2024 was 3-5 or 2-10. Sorry, 2024 was 2-10. So they went 13-0 in 2023. 2024 they went 2-10. 2025 this past year they went 5-7. Yeah, 5-7. So probably the biggest drop off of an undefeated season into the next season. It's gotta be the biggest drop off I've personally seen in a long time. There's just no way that you you can make an argument he's not on the hot seat, but there is 100%. I'm going to let me change that. You can't make an argument he's not on the hot seat because he's 100% on the hot seat. And it sucks to say that because I think he's a great coach. He's a great guy. When you really get to know him. Now, me personally, I don't know him personally, but when you listen to him in interviews or you listen to him in press conferences, he's a great guy. He's a great head coach. He just is not ready for the big stage yet. Yes, they went 13-0, but I just don't think that he's ready to take the next step. And when I say take the next step, I mean become a solid head coach for years upon years upon years, like other guys, like a Dan Lanning. I'm not saying he needs to be a Dan Lanning, but just like a Kenny Dillingham. He's so consistent. We don't have that from Mike Norvell. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're at the top, and then you get the big drop, and then maybe you get a little bump coming back up. But then, man, when you go around that bend, you do not know what's on the other side. Sometimes you don't want to know. So we're about to know this season. It's either him getting fired or him saving his job somehow. He at least got to win 9 games to probably save his job. Next up is Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell is on here. He's the head coach of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they're an interesting team, to say the least. When you look at the last, I want to say, we'll just go look at the last 3 years. I think he's been there for 3 years. When you look at the last 3 years, has Wisconsin been a college football program that has been oh, wow, we better watch out for Wisconsin. They're a pretty good team. They've really never been that. They've never been a contender in the playoff. I don't think they've been a top 25 team. They just haven't. They barely make bowl games at this point. So Luke Fickell is obviously on here. There's no changing my mind in that. His seat is obviously hot. He's struggling to get Wisconsin competitive in the Big Ten. And at this day and age, you have 3 years at max, and he's definitely past 3 years. So time is of the essence at Wisconsin, and he's running out of time. So I have Luke Fickell at number 2. Number 3 is Shane Beamer at North Carolina. Shane Beamer is an interesting one, to say the least. I think Shane Beamer is at a point where he could be hot seat, but you can make an argument he's not hot seat. The only reason I have him here is because they've had some struggles. They were 4-8 last year. So, and with this preseason expectations of being a top 25 playoff contender, I had South Carolina competing in the SEC championship this past year for my prediction, and that obviously went up in smoke. But I still think that they can contend as a team. I think when you look at their roster this upcoming year, there's no way that you can say that if he has a bad season that it's all right. It's not all right if he has a bad season. I think he's going to get fired if he has a bad season. Shane Beamer is one of the coaches that I absolutely love. And if I'm being honest with you, I hope he doesn't get fired. I hope none of these guys get fired. I hope all these guys I have on this paper, I hope 0 of them get fired. Number 4 is a coach that is new to college football, and it's Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is a coach that is definitely on the hot seat. There's things about Bill O'Brien that are good. Number 1, has experience at the college level, offensive coordinator at Alabama, has experience at the NFL level, and just has experience in general. He has veteran experience, and I really thought he was going to do things, big things, at Boston College. Turns out he didn't, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. But I just think that there's a lot more potential at Boston College than Bill O'Brien is harnessing. So with that being said, a major drop-off in 2025. I just think that he needs to pick it up a little bit or he'll probably be fired. That's my opinion. All right. number 5, and last but not least, is Dave Aranda at Baylor. I want to take a second to just personally say that I love Dave Aranda. I absolutely love him as a coach. He is incredible. Baylor is a team that I wish had success. I picked Baylor to lose to Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship this past year. That obviously did not turn out. But, I mean, Baylor was once a Big 12 title contender. I think or Big 12 title winner. I have it on here. They won the Big 12 not that long ago, I think against Oklahoma State. And I want to say 2022-ish. So, yeah, I have to say Baylor is a team that could be better than they have been. I think Dave Aranda is the guy to get them there. It's just, is he going to get enough time? He's already had enough time, so I could definitely quantify and see why people want him fired. But I think that he's an insane coach. And, given the resources, can win there. Now, he has DJ Lagway coming in. So, I obviously can make an argument that he probably could be a good team this year. DJ Lagway's coming in. DJ Lagway's an excellent quarterback. I think he'll be able to fill that spot somewhat nicely, in my professional opinion. I mean, it's not that professional, but it is an opinion. Please let me know in the comments what your hot seat is. What is your 5-3, head coaches that are in the hot seat? That's my top 5. And I think that, as we progress through this upcoming season, about week 3, week 4, week 5, you start to really narrow it down who has locked in their job, who is coming back next year, and who is probably not. So, yeah, that's always a sad part of the season when you start to get head coaches fired, but it is definitely a part of the season that needs to happen. So, yeah, that's my way too early top 5 head coach hot seat talk for 2026. And that's it. We're done. We're done with hot seat. Ugh, gross. We're done with hot seat. Just wipe it away. That's it. Hot seat talk is officially over. For those of you who are listening on podcast, I'm just taking a drink. Sometimes I've had where I'm even listening to my own podcast, like replay. I listen to my own podcast almost like grading film. And sometimes whenever I take a drink and I don't announce it on podcast, it sounds like you're like I'm at the gym, I'm listening to it, and it's like, oh, did something happen to my headphones? Oh, nope, he's just taking a drink of water. So proceed to take a second sip. All right. We got some football, field related stuff to jump into right now. But it is still definitely a fun topic I like to talk about because it's a topic that needs to be talked about. I appreciate everyone that's watching. I'm going to go ahead and put something in the live chat real quick. Option B. Oops, sorry about that. Boom. Just copying and pasting live chat. I have it so I can copy and paste a little command for you guys to subscribe, maybe like the video, maybe comment, get in the live chat a little bit. All right. Time to dive right into more college football talk. All right. College football media rights issues. There's some issues in college football with media rights. And I have to say, this is an interesting topic, to say the least. It's an interesting topic. The SEC has a massive deal with ESPN and Fox, and so we're gonna go through each conference real quick, and then we'll dive into kind of how to fix it. I'm gonna dive into each conference's deals real quick. So starting with the SEC, their deal was with ESPN and ABC. The massive deals with ESPN and ABC broadcasting company. They mostly have the 3 o'clock through 7 o'clock window. That's their prime time games. So yeah, they have a deal with ESPN and ABC with their prime time games being mostly around 3 to 7. The Big Ten has a deal with Fox. If you did not know, the Big Ten is partnered with Fox and I think a little bit with NBC. I think that they're partnered a tiny bit with NBC. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. CBS. They're partnered with a little bit with CBS. So they have Fox Sports and CBS. They retain the Big Noon Kickoff. That is their thing. Their thing is big noon kickoff. So their primetime game, the Ohio State Texas games, those types of games, the Ohio State Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, those games, if it's a primetime game, it's kicking off at 12 noon. That's just how it is with the Big Ten. All right, ACC. The ACC has a deal, a long-term deal with ESPN mainly. Of course, they have ACC Network, just like the Big Ten has Big Ten Network and the SEC has SEC Network. The ACC has a deal with ESPN and ACC Network. So, I mean, there's not too much to dive in there. I think the ACC might appear on CBS every once in a while, but it's not very often. All right, next is the Big 12. The Big 12 has deals with Fox Sports and ESPN. The Big 12 produces strong Saturday windows. They mainly kind of alternate when their games are. It could be noon, it could be, 7, it could be 3. Kind of alternates, when their top game is. It's mostly around noon to 3 is when their top, game of the week is on TV. It's normally around like 12 to 3. So yeah. And then of course you can talk about Notre Dame in there. I mean, Notre Dame has a deal that they have their own personalized deal. It is with NBC Sports. So you could easily make an argument that Notre Dame has their own deal, kind of like an own network deal with NBC. So yeah, that is what the deals are. The question is, what is the fix? What's the current situation? Well, the SEC's locked in ESPN. The Big Ten Conference is tied heavily with Fox Sports and CBS Sports. And the ACC is ESPN, and so is the Big 12. I think that what we need to fix here is we need to fix things like cross-networking. And when I mean, or we need to start things like cross-networking. Cross-networking is basically where games from different conferences will air on different networks. So a Big Ten game could air on ESPN, or an SEC game could air on, the Fox, or a CBS game could be the SEC's top game. I think that is the best format for college football because, number one, it gives you more flexibility. You have more flexibility to, make the best games at the best time. So if Ohio State and Michigan are the best game that week, they don't have to be at 12 anymore. They can be at 7. Now, for a game like that's played at noon every week or every year, it's played at noon, then of course it would stay at noon. But there's games like Ohio State, Texas this past year. That was the game of the week, and it kicked off at noon because Ohio State has a deal with Fox and big noon kickoff. Imagine if that was on ESPN at 7:30 at night, Eastern time. It would be 6:30 Central time. Well, I guess it'd be 7:30 for Ohio State, but Ohio State hasn't played at night very much at all this year. So what's my fix? The question is, with this format, a lot of people are like, all right, that sounds like a good format, but how do networks get to know what games that they get? Well, in my thing, it would be like a draft. So the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 would pull their Tier 1 and Tier 2 games, and networks would basically bid for access to the game. So, for instance, each network would get, their first pick. Like the networks each week, or not even each week, let's say like each week they sit down and they say, all right, on Monday or on Sunday, they sit down and say, all right, what games are we going to get? They get let's say it's a random order. So, the Big 12 or, just random orders. So let's say ESPN and big noon kickoff and, CBS and ABC and NBC all get together and they sit down. You could even get Prime Video or Netflix involved. They sit down and they have a meeting, like a draft of what games that they get. So it would be all jumbled and mixed. And then it would come out an order, almost like a draft lottery. And then let's say the big noon kickoff gets the first pick, and ESPN gets the second pick, and then CBS gets the third pick. Big Noon Kickoff would say, all right, the game of the week is Alabama, Georgia. I want that game at 12. Boom, that's their pick. ESPN's up. ESPN says, all right, I want the next big game is Ohio State, Oregon. That's the game I want. That's going to be at night. That's going to be our night window. And then, then the next team would be CBS. The next network team is CBS. They would say, all right, third best game is Penn State USC. We want that game and we want to air that at 3. And then, of course, all the other networks go. And then you just keep drafting. I'm sorry, I hit the mic. You keep drafting until each network gets a certain amount of games and all the games are taken. And then the rest of the games, like the lower tier ACC games of that week, could play on ACC Network or whatever. Or just ESPN or just divvy them up, whatever. So that is my personal plan for it. Like, I mean, you would have like a certain amount of teams or a certain amount of games top, and you'd have your networks, and they would kind of draft. That's my perfect world. And why schools would like this? It's a true open market. So teams would get a true feel of they would get the true feel of each network. So Ohio State would get to play on ESPN every once in a while, and they would get to play night games finally. Their key games could be at night. Or Alabama is big noon kickoff. It would just kind of alternate. And I think that would be good for the sport. I think that's what the sport needs. So in terms of media rights, as far as media rights go, I think that's the best format to suit college football. I really do. If I could have the leagues at my fingertips, that's how I would put it. I would make a 12-team playoff. I would have a network game draft and fix the college football calendar. That would be the things that I would want to fix in college football. So that's my full pitch for a idea. That's my full pitch about how I would change college football media rights. Let me know in the comments how you would do it. And yeah, be excited to see what you guys say in the comments. Take another sip of water real quick. Gotta say, whatever this is really good. The brand has not asked or partnered with us, so they will not be shown. But just think about it. This undisclosed can, this could be your brand. This really could be. Hopefully I'm actually working on something right now with a different brand about potentially a partnership. We'll see how that goes within the next week or two. We should figure that out. So we'll see how far that goes, but that is interesting. All right. Let's dive right into a couple program checks. Another sip of water. I mean, it's just so good. I was at the gym before this, so you know how that goes. And cardio. You know how all that goes. All right. Let's dive right into this. Quick check on the live chat real quick. Doing all right here. All right, and we are good to go. All right. Arizona State program check. Where is Arizona State as a program heading into 2026? Let's dive right in real quick, and I'll give you guys my pure thoughts on this. So, head coach Kenny Dillingham they're still in the Big 12. That's program overview. What's the program check? Well, this upcoming year for 2026 is big for Arizona State. They're bringing in Cutter Boley, former Kentucky quarterback, and he is going to be their quarterback. I think that they can have a great offense with him. I think that their aggressive portal usage is going to pay off 100%. And I do really think that Arizona State as a program keeps climbing. Now, they made the playoffs in 2024. Yeah, 2024. They made the playoffs, got a first-round bye. They were the number 4 seed, played Texas in the second round, lost. But I got to say, Arizona State as a program is climbing, and I'm really excited to see where they're at, where their program can go in the future. But I have to say, them as a program, they're in the right direction, and I think they're heading in the right direction as well. I mean, when you really look at what their 2026 preview is, I mean, I would say that their ceiling would be like 9 wins, I would say. If they can hit 9 wins, that would be awesome. I think they could get to 10 wins. Like, best case scenario is like 10 wins. I think 9 wins is reasonable. We'll do team predictions here in the future, but I think they're a dark horse Big 12 title contender if Cutter Boley fits. If he doesn't fit, it's going to be tough, but they can still fight out for an 8-win season. If he fits their 9-10 win season, I think the 4 for this team, there's definitely a 4 for them. I think it's like 4 or 5 wins. I don't see a path where Arizona State loses like I don't see a path where Arizona State only loses or only wins like 5 games. I mean, I could see them winning 5 games. If quarterback just does not hit, I mean, there's a world where they legitimately win 5 games, but I don't see a world where they win below 5 games. I see a world where they win a lot more, but not below 5 wins. So I think that they're definitely a Big 12 title contender. I don't know if they're like the best team we've ever seen in the Big 12, but they're a title contender, 100%. Arizona State is rebuilding at a great pace right now. They're headed in the right direction, like I said. Kenny Dillingham is still there. I think Arizona State's like 2 years away from being a top contender again, like they were in 2024. But yeah, I got to say, Arizona State is going to be an excellent team heading into this year. So that's just a quick program preview. I got to say the mood around Arizona State is definitely a mood of, can we get it done? The question is can Arizona State get it done? When you look at the schedule, they got Texas A&M, they got, Kansas, Baylor, that's not easy, Texas Tech, Kansas State, BYU, Colorado, UCF, Oklahoma State, Arizona. Tough schedule, but I think that you could definitely see 9 wins. I think most likely scenarios is 8-9 wins. So I think that they got a lot of potential this upcoming year. And again, with Kenny Dillingham coming in or staying as the head coach, I think that they got a lot of potential as a program. So that's my full quick Arizona State program preview for 2026. All I can say for Arizona State fans is your program is 1,000% headed in the right direction. All right, one more program preview left. If you guys want me to, preview your program on the show, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments or live chat what program I should preview next, because I absolutely love doing these segments. All right, let's dive right into our last one here. Flying through the show. I mean, we're 42 minutes in. We're absolutely getting through the show. Alabama program check for 2026. Where are they at as a program? Where are they heading as a program? Let's dive right into it. Of course, Kalen DeBoer's coming back for his 3rd year. Is he Nick Saban? I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you real quick. No, he's not Nick Saban 2.0 at all. But he can be an elite head coach here. I do believe that he has the potential to be a really good head coach here. The question is, are they still championship level annually? That's what I wrote down. The question isn't, are they elite? The question is, can they be championship level every year like they were last year? I'm not saying they have to win it every year, but can they have a contending roster, especially this upcoming year? I think so. I think with Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, that quarterback battle competition going on there, I think is definitely one to watch out for. But I do think that they can definitely compete this upcoming year, and I'll be excited to see what happens there. I mean, there's still a big portal player. They're still like top 5 to 8 nationally when it comes to the portal, when it comes to recruiting. Like, there's still such a top team in terms of talent acquisition. And then when you look at just purely, you look at their schedule. I mean, it's not the easiest schedule. I think we have their schedule. Yeah, we have their schedule. It's not the easiest schedule in the world, but it's not like the hardest schedule by any means. They have, Florida State, South Carolina's not a game to sleep on. Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Vandy, Auburn. Not the hardest schedule, but not the easiest schedule. I mean, that Georgia game, that South Carolina game, A&M, LSU, I think that those are tough games, but I think there's 10-2 here. I think if they're good, like if they really hit their stride, there's 11-1 potential here. Not undefeated. I don't think any team's going to go undefeated this year. Call me crazy. I think Indiana was the last team to go undefeated for a couple years until the sport balances out a little bit. But I got to say, Well, the sport is balanced. That's the thing. Sorry, said that backwards. But yeah, their schedule's tough. But I gotta say, Alabama as a team, like the 4 for them is like a 9-3 type season. I think that is worst case scenario. I don't see 4 losses. I really don't with that schedule. I mean, 9 wins for most Alabama fans lately has been like, oh boy, crisis incoming. Just don't be that way. I mean, I guess you could be that way maybe this year because they have an easier schedule than last year, but I gotta say, their schedule is not anything tough. So I think that you don't have to worry so much about Alabama as a program this upcoming year. Because, I mean, Alabama as a program is still a top program, but they just got to get it together as a team. Like I said, I mean, Alabama is still Alabama. They're just reloading and, dominating differently than they. I mean, they're not dominating, but they're just competing at a different level. I mean, 10-2 doesn't feel like a failure to me. I think 10-2 is most likely. And again, it doesn't feel like a failure at all. But I think that Alabama's got great potential. I really do think Alabama is a team that has a lot more potential than people give them credit for. Again, I think Alabama's going to be a contender for this year and years to come under Kalen DeBoer. Call me crazy. I think Kalen DeBoer is the guy that's going to lead them to the promised land. Not Nick Saban level, but I think he can win a national title there. Definitely. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But yeah, that's my full Alabama 2026 season preview. Going to be an exciting season. All right, and that was not only Alabama segment, but the show. I also want to say, coming to the studio here, and it's still being like light outside, like really light outside, it's just been awesome. Whoever invented daylight savings time is just, I don't understand it. I really don't. Why can't we just keep the same time 24/7? Why do we have to make it so it's lighter in the morning and darker at night? No one wants that. We all want it to be light until like 8 or 9 o'clock. We all prefer that. Trust me. We all prefer it to get dark at like 8:30. That'd be my ideal time is 8:30. So yeah, I mean, I go to bed at like 9 because I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning. I know I'm a little weird. I go to bed at 9 and wake up at 4:30 in the morning just because I value the mornings more to work on the show, to get other things done. I value the mornings more than the evenings. But yeah, that is the show. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. That is one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they're not subscribed. They watch the show and then they're like, oh, wait, I wasn't even subscribed. Or I watch every single show. I watch every single video and I love it. And I forgot to comment or like the video. Because if you comment, it not only shows me that you're invested, just subscribe, like, and comment. And I know that you're a hardcore fan. I appreciate you guys for watching. We will see you guys on the podcast feed Wednesday. I'm going to record it probably Tuesday evening, get it to you guys Monday morning on podcast, and we'll see you guys back on the channel Friday for another show. We'll do like a spring ball preview. That'll be fun. So yeah, we'll see you guys back on here on the channel Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but we'll see you guys at the podcast feed Wednesdays. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you are subscribed, and we will see you guys on Friday. It's going to be a fun show Friday. So like I said, hit the notification bell. Hope you guys have a great start to your week, and God bless.